with the internet. I think now it should be okay. Okay, so what do I do here? My queen is attacked, so probably first queen d5 check, king h8, and now dilemma. Do I take on d7 or do I do something else? My first instinct says knight f7 after all this. But let's figure out why not take? Or let's figure out why yes, take. So queen d5, king h8, queen d7. Some bishop e2 stuff, I don't know. So queen d5, king h8, queen d8, h6, knight e6. Oh, rook f7, queen c8. That's no good. Wait, when I take on d7, I'm a piece up. And I want to go queen e6 next. That's a very good deal. That's an excellent deal. But let's see, what's wrong with knight f7 besides being only an exchange? Ah, maybe takes and queen h6, attacking the rook, and probably having some ideas, some nasty ideas like bishop f3, queen h3, which are not easy to meet. Queen d7. Now difference is if queen d7, queen h6, we have knight f7, forking, let's say, queen d7, queen h6, knight f7, and on rook takes, there's queen c8. So I would simply capture this. On queen g6, knight e6, rook e8, knight c5. Oh wait, but knight f7, rook f7, queen f7, queen h6. I have queen d7. What am I talking about? I can just take on d7. So maybe it's knight f7. This. What did I say was a problem? I said queen g6, but then knight e6. But I don't know, somehow it feels wrong to play knight f7. This, rook d8, knight f7. Oh, but wait. Queen d7, rook d8, knight f7, king g8. And I mean, the game goes on, I think. Takes, queen e7. Oh, it doesn't go on, it's just a rook up. Again, blindness. But I'm not sure about this. What's wrong with this move? Or do I just go knight to f6, knight e4 next? Oh yeah, that's a problem because d5 is never an option. f2 hangs. Okay. Take it. Let's see why exactly knight f7 doesn't work. So my guess was knight f6 and knight e4. Since there's no d5 because of very soon checkmate. So knight e4 comes next. If we do something like this, well, you can take, I guess, or something else, I don't know. Oh, there's f4 with rook f8. That's quite dangerous. All right. This puzzle, it screams d4, but is it enough? d4 and then black has to, white has to capture. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. Let's say, do I go rook d1? I don't think it matters, because on both rook d1, rook d8, and on knight e2 there's knight f3, and rook hangs on d1. Although there is king f2. Oh, but knight e2 I can take on e2. Completely missed that. So yeah, d4 takes, bishop takes, queen d7, rook d1, rook d8, we defend the knight, and in case of knight f3 is check, and in case of knight e2 attacks the queen, and that's also fine. So d4 takes, if castle, rook d8, now there's no more knight e2 because of check on e2. And if knight f3, I still have knight e2 and it's a fork. So let's hope for the best. I cannot castle, unfortunately, but I can do rook d8. Also, can I go knight b5? Wait, knight b5? Maybe I made a mistake. Wait a second. Knight b5 and rook d7, knight c3. Rook b7, knight d5. That's a piece up. Oh, but knight b5, queen g3. And that's very, very dangerous. So let's not do that. Let's simply go rook d8. Oh, bishop e3. Well, I cannot take, I cannot cover. I'm left with only king h1. Okay, bishop e6 maybe, or is that too much? Queen f7. And then queen e7. To play then rook f8 and give a checkmate. So let's see, queen f7, king h8, queen e7, rook g8. Rook f7 also exists. Rook f7, and on any check on the first rank, bishop f1 exists, and white is safe. So, sure. Queen to e7. Let's check. Well, not double check, but queen e7, rook g8, rook f7. Maybe there is rook g7. Chibao, hello. Takes. I cannot take this bishop somehow, can I? Wait, queen e7, rook g8, rook f7, rook g7. And I need that something to finish the game. Queen e7, rook g8, bishop e6, queen e5. And I cannot find it. Something is missing. Queen e7, rook g8. I would love something like h4, but that's too slow. Queen e7, rook g8. Let's see now. Rook f7, rook g7. Check on d8, rook g8, queen h4, rook g7, back, rook f8, rook g8, takes, bishop e6, but still doesn't lead to anything. Wait, this has to be simpler. Queen e6, what happens then? Rook d8. Oh, he doesn't have a good square, does he? So on rook g8 we just take on e6. Rook has to move but cannot abandon the last rank. Let's say rook g7, rook f8. So this rook g8, queen e6, rook a8. I guess we can go bishop d5 and close the circle. Queen e7, rook g8, bishop e6. Nah. I think it doesn't work. Queen e5. Although, what after queen d7? Queen d7, rook b8. I think it's queen e6. But I expect after queen e7 for black to play something random. Oh, or that. That's nice. So king h1 takes queen e7. And let me see. Rook g8, queen e6, rook a8, bishop d5, rook b8, and now queen d6. To have this next. Oof. That's brutal. And let's see, bishop e6. Queen e5. Still very good for white, but not winning. h4, bishop d4. So what? Rook f7, just queen e1, and chase the king. And if you go h5, what happens? It's still a draw. Queen c1, rook f4, queen e3. Wow. That's something else. Okay, in this one, I think we have some checkmate by knight e2, king h1, knight 4 from to g2, hg, and then rook h7. And checkmate cannot be stopped. Like that. Here, this one looks interesting, but there's GH. But we can play simpler chess with knight d6, cd6, bishop h7, and then knight on g8 hangs. If king e8, well, just move the rook to a7 and capture on g8 next move. And also it's important that knight on d6 helps the rook to attack f7. So he doesn't have something like queen f2 as counterplay. So just take bishop h7, and I don't see anything good for black. Wait, knight e6, cd6, bishop h7. Let's see. Let's say rook b1, bishop b1, queen f2. But then I suppose rook d1, and the rook is covering the first rank, and there's no danger of perpetual. Oh, but wait, my pawn cannot get to... My rook cannot get to d1. Wait. takes, bishop h7, rook b1, bishop b1, queen f2. And yeah, queen g8 in the end. Didn't see that. Queen g8, king g8, rook d8 mate, because bishop from b1 covers the Luft. Well, if it wasn't for that, I doubt white could win, because his king is so vulnerable. I guess you could go bishop d3, but it looks a bit sketchy. Check, king h2, queen d2, and I mean, still you have the same idea to go queen g8, but if you don't see queen g8, you're pretty stuck. And he doesn't... he stops there, that's a pity. But maybe there's plenty of other ways to win the game. So besides this, maybe there's something else that allows the win. Like I said, bishop d3, but if you don't find queen g8, how can you win this? Because bishop hangs, queen f4 is a threat, and there's gonna be lots of checks. I guess it also wins. Let's see, let's say... Well, bishop h7, just queen f4, and... yeah, you don't allow anything. King f3, queen c3. You can't do anything with the bishop. These two pieces are cut off. So yeah, it's nicer when you have checkmating too with queen g8. Okay. What is this? Queen f2, king h1, queen e1, rook e1, knight f2, king g1, knight g4. And what is that? That's a piece up. Knight f5. Oh, and then even h2 hangs. So that's okay. Because what else? I mean, the king is so weak right now. You have to do something about the queen. Well, this one seems very, very tricky. Unless it's knight h2. But no. Right? Or some rook f4 stuff. Oh, it could be rook f4, but the c pawn promotes. That's a problem. And it's a big one. Maybe you take a pawn and then rook c7. No. No, no, no. Wait, let's start with counter material. So white's a pawn up. And that's it, that's the end. White's a pawn up and his c pawn is dangerous. Diagnose over. Rook f4. And what if I take? Yeah, knight d4, knight b3 looks quite dangerous for white. Knight d4. What do you do? Knight d4, e5. Knight b3. Yeah, that looks good enough, I guess. But why not bishop d4? I guess you wanna take you wanna attack twice on a2. So if you do knight d4, there's no time for rook c2 or queen e2. I mean, there's no room for that. If bishop d4, okay, if knight d4, then c8 queen. That's very bad. So bishop d4, if c8 queen takes, rook takes, bishop a1, and this should hold. I mean, bishop goes back, I promote a pawn. Well, on knight g5 I can take with a knight, that's not a problem. But yeah, I think you should go bishop d4, and if rook a2, queen a2, there's this threat, which is decisive. So bishop d4, let's say b5. Well, maybe just queen a3 with queen b2 next. Bishop d4, knight f5. We take those. And then take on e4. I think it's bishop d4. Knight d4, I promote, and that's not good enough. c8 queen, take it. Well, now you gotta exchange everything. Unless there's queen d6. I don't believe in that. So takes bishop a1, rook a8, and well, I suppose bishop e5 attacking the knight, rook a2, bishop g3, and I'm a piece up. Queen b1. Queen b1, queen d8, king h7, and there's no queen to d3 anymore. And yeah, that's the difference between queen a1 and queen b1, actually. If you go queen a1, then he has a check on d3, and on g6, takes, queen f1, and he holds. But if I get queen b1, I'm stopping queen d3 check. and he only has queen d8 check. And yeah, that forces him to give up his rook. Give up his queen? No, give up exchange, actually. Queen b1, queen d8, check, queen b8, rook d1, and so on. Now, am I right about this? But what else? If I go queen c2, he can go rook f1. And now on queen b1, he has queen b5. So he bought time to play rook f1 without black having some progress, and that's crucial. What do you say? Queen b1. And then queen d3. Wait, what is this? c5, just take and go rook fc1. Am I missing something here? Queen c5. Aha, maybe he wants to go king d7. King d7, but rook fb1 still. Rook c8. You can take even on c8 or... But also on queen c5, king d7, you can go rook d1 and still win, so... King b8 is easier, because now on rook c8 there's check on d6. Rook a6, and now king e8, rook takes a8 with checkmate. Which rook? Oh. Can I do this? Bishop g4 and... Knight f5, bishop takes, h7 takes, king d3, king g6, here, knight c3, and you can go a3 maybe, or just take on b2 and win. But yeah, I think it's this, knight g3, and what's funny is that, let's say if h7 Takes, knight e2, king g6. I can go knight c3. That's maybe too fancy. The simplest is just to go to c2. But here, yeah, knight g3 with knight f5. That looks the simplest. But what about this? Oh, that does nothing. It's just not attacking anything. Knight d6, h7. Bishop takes, king takes, a piece up. No, let's go knight g3. Please be knight g3. Knight f5. Also, please be that. And then... wait. Now knight e3 or just take on... I think just take. If I go knight e3... he takes and goes bishop d1, which is gray area, I would say. I don't like it, so maybe just pick up the pawn, bishop e2, and then you can wait for a long time. Knight f5 back, knight c3. But yeah, then you go a3 and that's game over. Okay. Take on h2, king f1, and we have a dilemma here. Well, I don't have a dilemma, I don't have any thoughts. Bishop h3 maybe, but... So, takes here, bishop h3, and... you want to take on g2? We have to begin with capturing a pawn, that's definite. And now bishop h3. Well, I have 3 pawns for a piece, that's nice to know. Because once I return the piece back, I'm pretty sure that that's winning. So bishop h3 takes, queen takes, king e2. You can take on g3 and it's pretty bad. I could also get this knight to c4, which is also useful. So bishop h3 it is. Rook f6 maybe now. Rook f6. So if queen takes gf, bishop d5, I have queen g3. No. Rook f6. Queen d5. Wait a sec. Rook f6, queen d5. Do I have rook d8 or queen d5? Queen e4. And nothing happens really. Rook f6, queen d5, queen h1, king e2. Oh, I have bishop, queen h1, king e2, bishop g4. Or that, yeah. I can separate the pieces, yeah. And then if you go to d3, there's queen g3, and if the king stays on the second rank, f2 hangs with check. But it finishes there. So this, rook f6. I wanted first bishop g4, but oh no, I was having a wrong picture in my mind. Wait. Wait, bishop g4, king d3. What is that? So rook e8, king d3. This is the one I thought about, but I had the wrong thing. I guess you take, and when you take back, there's bishop f5 or bishop f1. Queen d5. So maybe let's bring... Could I go for bishop g2? And if queen g2, just rook e8. King d3 and... Doesn't look right. Knight e7 and knight f5. Oh, yeah. This is cute. And if bishop f1, knight g3. Killing. Okay. 96. Let's reach 100 today. That's my goal for today. This one, if I could take on h5, it would be great. If I could take. There's no check, so the king is not in big danger, and queen h6 is coming next. So it's not about material, it's about support. So king h5, f5, queen g5. If the king goes to f8, there's rook d8. If he plays king h7, there's rook d6, and rook h6 comes next. So this one looks like a great candidate. If king f8 to try to escape somehow, then did you watch How I Met Your Mother series? King h5, king f8, rook d8. I think we have to take. King h5, king f8, rook d6, and then pick up e4. But also, why not rook d6? Queen c8. Oh, queen c8 is good, and then queen g4. That is bad. Yeah, let's go for it. Oh. No. Well, nothing of that. But what's the point here? Do you just give checkmate or what's... Queen b8. Oh god. Queen b8. And then rook g2. And there's no queen e8 because of rook d8. Oh, so disappointing. Now I go. Bye.